All right. Well, it's September 22nd,
He's
and
not defend himself.
and while she's asleep.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I can hear you groaning inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing.
Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 394 of MODSonair, bringing you the week in gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am Foilman, and also on the show today we have with us Breezy. Hello, Breezy.
Hello.
Hello. We have Ham with us. Hello, Ham.
Hey.
And Strider's with us. Hello, Strider.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, so before we begin, let me remind you all that the show is recorded before a couple people, and they may discuss it as it goes through.
Before us.
Maybe we'll throw some topics into the chat window in case you care to follow along. But all the topics will show up over at the MODSonair.com website, along with all of our previous episodes. But if you haven't heard the show before, know that there may be some explicit language or adult themes.
So fuck you.
So fuck you.
Thank you very much.
There it is.
Yeah,
All right.
we really are recording this just in front of us. Everybody's sleeping or hungover. Or
Are we?
maybe it's like not Sunday and we're
Everyone's playing GTA 5, aren't they?
Could be. Exactly.
So we can insult the audience all we like, because there isn't any.
Right.
Right. Okay, so screw them all.
Anybody in our chat window that's offended by this, stand up now. Yeah,
Well-
see.
Well, it's, the GTA 5, they say they sold, 1 billion copies in 3 days?
No, they made
Yeah.
1 billion, didn't they?
Yeah, that's another Call of Duty ploy, that one.
Is that what's going on? Is that
Call
what
of
that...
Duty has shipped over 6 billion copies before they even sold. Yeah, well,
I
And
thought that billion mark
sitting
was
on
the
the
net
sh-
profit of it.
yeah, sitting on the shelf is still 5.5 billion copies.
Everybody on planet Earth has 2 copies.
Yes,
Pre-orders.
one you can play on your new phone. Giant laptop on the side of your head. Desktop. You'll never guess where I'm calling you from.
Hey, it's Pat. I got my hands on the new
Well, a lot of people did get the game.
realistic Grand Theft Auto yet. So
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Did you get it?
load some stuff
No.
up.
I will not. It's a console-only game. Why would I get a console-only game?
I'm wearing trousers
Yeah.
And here's-
and a shirt.
You're a consolean.
Now for the
Did you
hat.
get it?
Okay, I guess I'm gonna give it
I've been watching Let's Plays. I've not gotten it though.
and a tilt.
Do you feel like getting it?
And a little
No.
tilt, little
Well,
tilt.
and right off the bat, we have Xbox install issues. We have PS3 install issues.
You could hear the enthusiasm in Ham's voice. No.
It's like what Welshie said in the last show is, I want to play it, but I don't want to buy it for the Xbox. And if Rockstar just turned around and said, it will come to PC, then fine, I will wait for it. But now they're not, and they're leaving us wait. I'm just like, oh, well, fuck you then.
Is that why you don't get anything that's not free anymore, Morphus?
He's bitter about it.
Hey, yeah, I would be too.
A little bit
Mike,
bitter.
But the game, I don't know. Looking at some of the plays, I took a look at a couple videos here and there. It seems like the game is nothing but a bunch of mini games. Because that's all people are recording.
That all it ever was? They're all looking for the next hot coffee mini game is what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, it's there,
That's
isn't it? The lap dance.
So I was hunting in the woods.
But
Don't they have the
I've
lap
always
dance?
said that the Grand Theft Auto games, they are all the same game. Like, the missions-wise, it's exactly the same.
Yes.
It's go here, kill these people. The missions never change.
Was
True
that dude
enough.
just tickling a deer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're
This
telling
is-
me you don't tickle deers?
this is a college humor review of the game.
Hey, I got my
About
hands
how
on
realistic it
Grand
is.
Theft Auto 5 a day early. It's supposed to be the most realistic Grand
They
Theft
did that
Auto
too.
yet.
Somebody
So I'm really
released it
excited
a day
to play
early
Let's
over on
load some
Amazon.
stuff up.
Oh.
All right, so
Amazon UK, I
got my
think.
character here.
Amazon also put
I'm
up a
wearing
PC
trousers
section.
and a shirt.
Oh.
And now
Apparently.
for the hat. Okay, I guess I'm gonna give it a little spin and a tilt and a little more tilt, a little more tilt. Oh, oop, that was too much tilt. Okay, starting over. I went to drive my car straight into a bank, but the tire was flat, so now as you can see, I'm changing the tire. I've re-screwed 1, 2, 3, and 4 lug nuts.
Mini games upon mini
wait,
games.
the 5th lug nut. God damn it.
And there's going to be all these retards that still can't change the tire and torque the nuts in a proper order.
You can actually buy and sell real estate in GTA 5, which is so cool, but I've been running this open house for a week, and no one is biting. I should probably pack up these shrimps. I just don't know what to do about this cocktail sauce. I was playing golf, and I hit an epic drive into this swamp, so now I'm looking for my ball. Oh, sweet, a nickel. 50 more of those, and I could just buy another ball. I cannot get the temperature right in this shower. Ow, ow! And I had sex with a prostitute, so now I'm getting an STD test.
You have herpes.
Oh, here comes a mini game.
Take these once a day for the rest of your life.
Tough one. So I was hunting in the woods, and I shot a deer, but as it turns out,
Welshie's been playing that mini game for a while.
This fawn.
So yes,
Come
see.
on, Nelson. Come on. All right, so I'm finally ready to blow up this helicopter with the bazooka, and Nelson, you have got to stop following me. Okay, buddy, let's go home.
Please subscribe if you like this video.
Okay, there you go.
Hmm.
That could be somewhat accurate, depending on how you play the game.
There are lots of mini games.
If you play it seriously, you might feel that way.
Watching these Let's Plays, I'll watch probably at least, well, I know at least an hour's worth, but I'd say maybe 2. And it's one of these games where I find it ironic that I'm in a position of saying this. I'm sort of shocking myself by saying that I think it's a game that's a little too well realized with the dialogue and stuff. The game looks amazing when you drive around the city. I mean, it looks like a real city, but the dialogue and some of the situations and things like that, it becomes not a. It's not fun. It's just a reflection of real life, and it's just like, oh, this is. I mean, I can deal with this.
Sims, how
myself.
come they don't have the green triangle or the diamond over their head?
Yeah. So family problems and trying to get a job and stuff like that. It's I'm facing these issues in real life. I don't need to do that stuff.
I can't get a job in real life. I should look for one online. Fuck it, I'll just play GTA 5 and look for a job there.
Yeah.
My tune can get a job. He can be successful if I can't.
Visually, it's amazing what they did with the city, though. It's very well realized in that regard. Story-wise, I'd rather have something like Saints Row. That's just ridiculous.
What's the? Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like another title that's pushed out on hype, yet they've taken the fun out of the game from the sounds of it, and from what I'm seeing, it's like they've taken fun out of it, and they have to interject mini games and temporary content so to cover for that lack of meat and potatoes. It's all fat and gravy, which, I mean, I know there's a lot of big Americans that are and Canadians and probably Europeans that are pretty happy about fat and gravy, but people like meat and potatoes, man. Fat and gravy's good on meat and potatoes.
I'd like some fried fat.
Deep fried fat, please.
Yeah, dipped in gravy.
Could any of that low carb deep fried fat?
You say it, but they do it. So how funny it is. Again, another realistic thing. Well, I don't see Rockstar doing what EA is doing over there with the Sims. I mean, you keep bringing up the Sims. The Sims are doing the downloadable Red Cross edition of the Sims City for SimCity, where they're giving away 80% of the profits to the actual Red Cross, or at least that's what they say. We don't know what kind of administration fees there are involved in that.
Right.
I should put some.
Why did that go in there?
I don't know. Is EA's on a goodwill campaign? I don't know.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, with the humble bundle.
EA is trying to do anything to to get people to start saying EA sucks. And you know what? There's two things you can do, EA. Number one, ditch Origin. It's a fucking shit show. Ditch it. And number two, change your name to something that's not EA. Because really, you guys have driven those two initials into the ground so hard that people, it doesn't matter what you do, people are not going to forgive the fact that you're idiots.
It's true. You can, I came across a conversation, a discussion this morning about Call of Duty, and in the Call of Duty article, they're talking about how EA sucks, or not in the article, in the discussion, how it's Activision and EA, how they're both horrible. But then again, it was kind of a deserved article. This one was about how Call of Duty, the developers are going on, are talking in some sort of interview here, saying how it's getting more and more expensive to make AAA titled games.
No, it isn't, because they're not putting any content in it. It's getting more and more expensive to produce these Hollywood-esque movies,
exactly,
and the premieres and all you're doing is you're creating a bunch of hype about shit. It's still shit in a baggie. Fucking creates, you know what? Saying it costs more and more to fucking make a game. Then how come we're not realizing those costs of that game in the product? You get it? It's like, yeah, that's a baggie full. Oh wait, there's a peanut in that baggie full of shit, but this is still just a baggie full of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. They take all this money to make these games, and then if the game doesn't sell 10 million copies, it's a financial failure. And nobody's asking you to do this. Nobody's saying you need to do this. This is all their fault.
And Activision's the same thing. They've been beating the shit out of that dead horse of Call of Duty for far too long now, without interjecting anything new. And the only way that they do it is say, "Oh, it's all new. Everything is new. Yes, it is. It's all new. And here's some shiny stuff to take your mind off the fact that when you actually get this, it's not new at all."
Mm-hmm. A direct quote. People want better and better graphics. They want more realistic-looking art assets, and that comes at a cost, and that's a hard thing to have to deal with.
Okay. Yes, they do. But they also want storyline. They also want replayability.
They just want fun.
Yeah, and they want fun. You've taken all of the fun out of it and given us a baggie full of shit with a peanut. It's a sparkly peanut. If you get the special edition, it's a sparkly peanut.
Right. People don't necessarily want real. Look at Team Fortress 2. That game has a stylized look. It works. It's going to work over the years because it tries to be at least tries to have a stylized look. So it's never going to necessarily go out of visual favor. And it's fine. I kind of think Valve did a bad job of evolving Team Fortress 2. It's this really complicated mess now, but it's still it's not. People aren't asking for more and more realistic assets that cost more and more to produce. It's nobody wants this stuff.
It's like Team Fortress is a prime example of a basic game.
But is that a corporation trying to push an ideal, saying we want to have a larger budget so that we can pay ourselves more? We have to justify that somehow. I mean, what is so high def about the new Call of Duty? They've got a dog that's got a scar and a tattoo.
They scan that dog. They scan the dog to get the tattoo. I think
you'll see that when the dog is jumping on you and attacking you, and you go get the jam on the screen.
Yeah, and you'll say, "Is that a tattoo in his ear?" Wow.
You can't see shit because you got jam on the screen.
Yeah. Well, Battlefield's trying to do the same thing. They're trying to compete, and EA turned around and said about regarding the Call of Duty and its success. There's like, well, we're not gonna keep going until we beat them. So I expect Battlefield to go one extra year past Call of Duty, because Call of Duty will stop and Battlefield will have to go one more year.
No, Call of Duty won't stop.
No,
you don't think it will?
No, they'll just keep pumping out the same shit.
It's got to stop eventually. This isn't.
They're going to milk it until people get tired of it.
next year will be Call of Duty Minecraft.
Yes.
I can
No,
see
because that
it.
would require destructible environments, and they can't be dealing with that.
It'll be a breakthrough for Call of Duty. It'll be the most revolutionary. Yeah, 8-bit Call of Duty. It'll be the most revolutionary Call of Duty ever. That's what it'll be billed as. They're getting rid of all the art assets. The high def dog.
Every bullet.
Yep. Yeah, your hit boxes are actually boxes.
Every bullet is DLC.
Well, are you guys gonna
your bullets? Actually,
in just over a week, you guys are going to be able to get your hands on the beta. Are you interested in that? Battlefield. Really?
No.
I want to check it out. I'm the only one who haven't played it, so.
Every time I get the beta, I end up playing it and then really disliking the box version I bought as a result.
Well,
that's.
I'm going to play the beta before I make any decision.
I am not going to give Battlefield any more of my money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, EA is going to get some of my money when they release the Star Wars game on the Frostbite engine, but that will be the extent of it. I will not purchase another Battlefield game. The last two have been so disappointing.
Well, isn't the Star Wars game based on Battlefield 2?
Battlefield 3 fun.
You do?
Yeah.
I think Battlefield
it's
is
more
fun.
because most of the casual players have buggered off now, so you actually get a decent game on it. But that also means there's not a lot of players on it.
I'm gonna play the beta because it's free, but I will not purchase the game until they release that sort of premium version that comes with everything and there's a discount for it. I'm not gonna be in the position ever again where I buy the game and then I'm asked to buy the game again just to keep up with the rest of the community. That's crazy.
Oh, so what is the game going to come in at? What is? I mean, the true cost of the game is really the Elite version plus the game itself. $120, right? Yeah.
$120 because it'll be 60 plus 60.
Yep.
Or more. It might be 70 plus 70.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to Painbringer. You know Painbringer from Skunk Dogs?
Of course.
We were talking about prices, and I can't remember what it did come to, but it was in that region.
Yeah.
And see, that's not a game I can enjoy playing. Not for that value.
Right.
There's no value on that dollar. You got a little bit of prettiness, but you've got a game that's full of hype and really is just the same as what the last Call of Duty was, or the last Battlefield was.
So
I'll play it in the office. I'm gonna end up getting it, not necessarily from my own pocket, but.
If it had, and that's another thing. This version doesn't have any single player whatsoever.
No, there's a single player.
I thought that was
but I haven't heard anything about it. But
the news I heard was that they're going to try and make it more like multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
in other words, there is no single player.
In that sense, probably
The problem
not.
I've got with this at the moment is, I know it's not going to be what I expect it to be, but I'm not entirely sure what I want from Battlefield. It's like, it's got to that point now, I know this isn't what I want, but I can't actually put into words what I'd actually want them to do.
That's funny.
It's really bizarre.
You're one of those people that leaves comments on agree for comments on all YouTube videos posted. That's what you've turned into.
From infantry-based combat to all-out warfare. Gamers have the freedom to.
I mean, it's a lot of explosions, a lot of gunfights, and it looks pretty. But in essence, it really is the same thing. It looks a little bit prettier, and so I'm not going to pay a new price for that. I'll definitely wait until I get the whole package for a lot less.
We saw this at Ham. We saw this at PAX, and it didn't look any different.
No, it did not, except for the battle station. But that's because they had all the monitors going nuts.
Yeah. But really, it didn't look any different.
Oh wait, they didn't have a battle station at PAX. I saw that at E3. They had some sort of station for the general, where they had a 6 monitor set up with looking down on looking at the different players, looking down across the maps, and so that they could. I don't know what they were doing. I wasn't paying that much attention. Are they doing depot drops and stuff? I know they're trying to direct.
I know you were saying there it doesn't look any different, but what were you like I was saying, I'm not sure what I'd want different from it. What would you want different from it?
I can't answer that question. It was when I played Bad Company 2, it was fun because it was different, but then it turned into a very elitist type of game, and the balancing got all fucked up. Then Battlefield 3 introduced the origin shit, and that's part of the reason why I don't like the game. I don't like having to run a secondary application to play my game. I don't like having to close my game to reload my game every time I want to change a server. That makes no physical sense to me. So there's some design and implementation issues that I don't agree with, or I don't care for at all.
It's like the iPhone 7; they're going backwards.
Yeah, visibly it's and it's going to be bigger with buttons. But visually, yeah, it's really all it needs to be for a game.
I'll tell you exactly what I want.
Put the fun back in.
Well, I want the fun. Yes, I want that back in. I'd like for them to bring back modding and map making. That would make the world.
It was never that big. It was never that big. There were there was a select few that did some heavy duty modding, but it really didn't take off like Call of Duty did or those other games.
Yeah, I couldn't see myself modding for Battlefield.
I can have an excuse for that, and it's because at the time that game came out, everything was done through models, and it wasn't something you could just pick up freely. You had to have modeling software in order to map for it.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, just about everybody has that modeling software, or if they don't, the cost of that modeling software is very minimalistic compared to what it was 5-6 years ago. When Call of Duty's mapping took off, it was because it was on Radiant. It was something that was free. It was relatively easy to pick up, and you could generate a map in, not a high quality one, but you could generate a map in a half hour. My first map kind of thing. At that same time, you had the Battlefield one where you had to be more in depth. You had to have a little bit more background knowledge in programming, which I think is why it never took off as much as the Call of Duty one did. They removed that because it didn't take off, and because then they'd have to support it. Now I think times are different, and yeah, if you re-implemented something like that, I think it would probably have a better success rate.
It would take off. I mean, there's so much you can do even without artistic additions. You can just change numbers around. You can change mode. You can create new modes. You can do all sorts of silly things that just make it a whole new game. And there's some fun in that. There's fun in discovering what modes work, what modes can become popular, and what community additions make the game different and worth playing, continuing to play. Right now, we're not getting into that. It's all dictated. The lifespan is dictated. You're going to have these expansions, and then next year you're going to have a brand new game to buy to start all over.
And you'll have to get spoon-fed the additions over time at an additional cost. And then once the game has reached the end of its life cycle, then we will sell you a pack that has all of it. And then right before the next game, so 2 years from this point, is released, then hey, we'll give it to you the whole package for 10% off, because we're generous like that. We're EA or Activision, because they do the same shit. It's
yeah. So I think that's something that I'm sure I could think of other things, but just right away I think modding needs to come back.
I think that about all games though. Any game that's going to support some sort of community input, some sort of community out-of-box experience is going to really take off. And it can't be something that's just simplistic, like you can take well, you know what, I can't even say that, because if you took something very simplistic like the Halo map editor, that had that extended the life of that game exponentially just because you weren't playing the 5 or 6 maps that the developer gave you. You could play some community maps. Not that I'm a fan of the drag and drop and all that, but seriously, that's any game that's going to support some sort of community out of box experience is going to benefit from it in the long run.
Yeah. I completely agree. It's what extends the life of games, but we have these companies that don't want to extend the life of the game because it would sort of muddy the waters for the sequel.
Yeah, but it's dominated by the console market.
There you
that
go.
doesn't support that kind of architecture anyway.
Yeah.
Morphus mentioned Garry's mod, but yeah, there might be a lot more people on PC playing Garry's mod compared to Black Ops 2, but you compare that to the consoles, that's probably not the case.
Now you take a look at, like, you said your architecture doesn't support it, yet if it's a Microsoft title, it does support it, because you can make your drag and drop maps for Halo. Anybody can play them. Anybody. Yet, if it's not Microsoft's direct control, then no, you're not allowed to. And perhaps that's wise, because they've got that drag and drop architecture. It's a little harder to create something that someone could find offensive. But it's not that tough to implement it or open that up. That is just that is I think a combination of the developer or the publisher of the game, because that's the one that's going to control the finances. The publisher of the game we're going to go to Call of Duty now. So we got Activision and Microsoft are both saying, you know what, if we can't monetize this, it's not worth our while. And it was, what was it? I think the World at War Tools came out with the Xenon assets. So you could create a map for the 360. You just had no way to get it there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and if you open up the say on the 360 or the Xbox One, if you open up the ability to download content, that also opens the door for Microsoft to have to implement some kind of antivirus protection, which is all money.
I thought they had to do that anyways because they were infected with viruses on that live network so many times.
I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you on that.
Yeah. Just like Macs don't get viruses.
Well, we
got
yeah, that's a laugh.
Well, Gabe Newell gave some sort of in a speech. I don't know where he was talking. He was talking someplace at some show, and he was talking about how even though the unit sales of PC games are declining, that PC sales
they're up.
Are up or something like that. It's doing better. Like the PC games are still, people are still playing them and playing them well, and that Steam and Valve, they're doing very well with it, and they're getting ready to expand or something. Yeah. Actually, we're going to find out on Monday, right? They're going to have some sort of announcement on Monday.
And this is an expansion, I think, on the 360 mode or whatever the hell they called it, the
Big Picture mode.
Big Picture mode. What I think is going to end up happening is, and this is just my reading stuff into stuff and putting pieces together. I think what's going to happen is we're going to end up seeing a smart TV with Steam integrated into it that that comes with the console controller. So you will have your Steam library available with the press of your controller button, just like you go into a hotel room and you got the controller and you can pick a game and there you go.
I don't think so because of all the rumors regarding Linux. You know,
what do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to come out with a box?
Yeah, because over the past few years, we see them doing more and more Linux conversions of games and trying to get a Linux Steam going and beta and all that kind of stuff. Now, we're starting to see some some job opportunities regarding Linux developers coming from Valve. So they're still trying to push that, which could just be them trying to get the Steam version to work on Linux. Who knows? But then there was an article somewhere that said that Gabe thinks that Linux is the future for gaming.
There would be a bigger market for a Steam
box. It's because Microsoft shot themselves in the foot with this latest Windows iteration.
And who wants the game on a Mac? Exactly. So what's left? That only leaves you with Linux, unless they come up with their own, or unless they do
Or
something that
Android
has to do with
gets on it.
Android. Yes, that's the other thing. Now, if you said that they were going with Android, then I might believe that they could also be doing a whole integrated with the TV. But they're talking about Linux a lot, so that has nothing to do with TVs that I'm aware of.
Yeah, but who's going to go out and buy an integrated TV? Surely, for the market, it'd be much better to put out a box that you can just connect up to your TV.
Well,
Or a
here's-
dongle. It doesn't have to be a whole box.
Or a dongle. Yeah.
my speculation is this: that they aren't going to come out with a box of hardware like a console, because it gets rid of a lot of the advantages of having a PC. My hope is that they're going to release some sort of wireless adapter. You plug it into the back of your PC. It takes the video feed, and you have a receiver that you plug into your
Chromecast.
TV. Like basically a Chromecast solution.
That's a very interesting point, because I read somewhere that Apple was toying with the idea of including that in one of their operating systems. Not Chromecast, but the technology that uses it. I forget what it's called, Livecast, or there's some sort
AirPlay?
of... No, not AirPlay. There's some other kind of protocol. There's a name for this protocol that goes on for streaming from one to the other. So they're saying that Google is the first to bring this to market, and that we should start seeing more and more of these, and perhaps that's what we are about to see.
Perhaps, and I think that would be the smart move, because you still have the advantages of the PC. You can upgrade hardware when you see fit, and you can also play your games on the TV, and it doesn't cost that much, because you got this weird sort of position where if they do release a box and they release it at an exorbitant price because of the hardware in there, nobody's going to buy it. Especially, and people already have their PCs. If they release something that's cheap, it's going to be underpowered, and people who already have their PCs are going to say, well, that's not for me because I've got something better. But if you release something that doesn't necessarily depend upon what you already have, but just gives you the advantage of being able to port your PC experience to any TV in the house, that works. That's something that can sell me on.
And if all these games start working on Linux, then when the next version of Windows is, you just don't want to give Microsoft any more money, you can go out and download your copy of Linux, install it on your hot machine, and
Yeah.
play the game. Probably.
So.
We still have driver issues. Video
Right.
card, is NVIDIA going to keep up on Linux? Or AMD, are they going to keep up on Linux? That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, those are really important questions. I think the next version of Valve's Source Engine is probably going to be from the ground up ready for Linux. They're going to try to, at least.
And knowing them, it'll be Ubuntu, which I think is just far too limiting.
But maybe it has to be limiting in order to bring the masses to Linux. I don't know. It's sort of this weird
I'd
thing.
rather game on Mac.
You got people who are
Here I
Linux
go.
advocates. You've got Linux advocates, and they say everybody should be using Linux, and then you've got another group who say you all are too stupid to use Linux.
Yes.
What do you want?
Well, Ubuntu is not difficult. Ubuntu is so locked down that that it's almost unusable from a developer point of view, like myself. I have too many issues working with it. However, on the other hand, you go to something like Fedora or Red Hat or CentOS or something like that, one of those distributions, and I have no problem. I love it.
Yeah, I have had less problems with things like Fedora and OpenSUSE. Ubuntu is still, it doesn't work. It just doesn't completely work out of the box, where you don't have to deal with sort of commands in the terminal and things like that to get most things to work. You still have to deal with that stuff, and to me, it's not ready for prime time in that sense. And then a lot of people will beg to differ. They say, "Oh, all you have to do is do this or do that," and I've dealt with PCs for decades now, and if I'm sort of just being introduced to the operating system, and there's certain stuff where I'm just like, why isn't this option here, or why can't I get this to work? Why do I have to open up the terminal window and compile this in order to get something to work? It's not ready for prime time.
I you like that, Eric.
Yeah, that is good. I put it up there. How to play games on a Mac. Well, put the Mac down, put your mouse on top of it, and there you go. You're playing a game on a Mac. Yeah. Well, there's some other hardware news, but we don't know exactly what it. You know what? I'm going to assume it's hardware news. Did you see this thing regarding NVIDIA? Mark Rein says he's really excited for something that's happening over at NVIDIA, and it doesn't have to do with the video card.
His tweet or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a GPU, but gamers will love it. Well...
It's boobies.
Where do I sign up?
Didn't NVIDIA have some sort of weird Oculus Rift alike not too long ago?
I think they did. Yeah, and that's probably...
This about this little handheld console thingy. Is that out yet?
The Shield?
Yeah, that's been out. The Shield.
The Shield. Is that out?
But yeah, there's been... I think you're right, Ham. There was the rumor of the Oculus Rift competition coming directly from NVIDIA.
I didn't think it was coming. I saw a bunch of things. I don't remember one from NVIDIA.
There's news about it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that it's now that has taken place, this revolution of, okay, we're going to have this Oculus Rift, which I still don't buy into 100%. I see where it could go, but I don't buy into it 100%. Mm-hmm. It's going to all boil down to implementation. Who can implement it the best and the fastest is going to determine who ends up on the top of the pile. Whether it's Rift, or whether it's NVIDIA, or whether it's Sony, or there's all these people that are stepping up to the plate with this technology. It's going to all boil down to how it's implemented and who gets it implemented first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's enough.
Oh, the price too has to be reasonable.
I mean, look at that. Look at the Omni thing, Virtuix that you run in place, right? You have to spend like $30,000 in order to afford all the pieces that make that thing so spectacular.
I thought that. Well, no, because the Omni was that Virtuix was $500.
Plus, you need
the Rift is going to come in at $500 or $600, which I think is going to be too high. But I think that's what it's going to come in at when it first releases.
Now you also need that 6-axis thing.
No, that was part of it, wasn't it?
No, that was a separate company altogether.
Oh, awesome.
So I don't know. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's another $300.
Yeah. So yeah, we're pushing $1,400
pairs of shoes.
Oh, no, you have to buy shoes.
Shoes will come with it. In fact, I think what they're going to do is they're going to end up with little sliders that you put on.
Didn't they say one pair of shoes comes with it, but you can get multiple sizes?
Right.
So if your friends come over, they need their own shoes.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to end up with sliders, like curling sliders that you put onto regular shoes.
And they're going to come up with. They're going to sell a boom that holds a cable over your head while you're running in place.
Yep.
Who knows what that'll be? That's a $250 or something, right? Yeah, the noose.
And you got your light gun.
Right. Yes, you have to buy a light gun. What does a light gun cost? $60?
$60. Yeah. Plus, you got to move your PC into the living room, or clear out your entire office.
I don't know. You see, that might actually make you money because you're going to sell all your furniture to fit this in the house. So yeah, you know what? I'll subtract off a couple $100.
And then if you're the person buying these sorts of things, you got to pay for your therapy.
I can't remember what else they had. I thought they had even one more thing regarding motion. Oh, Kinect.
Yeah, the Kinect.
They wanted you to use a Kinect, which I think for the PC is a $350 version.
But I think that was part of that $500 release that he was saying.
Come on, really? They're going to give you a Kinect?
Hardware, yeah.
I don't think so. I think that's just the dish. All right, so there you go, $1,800.
Yeah, you add it all up, and nobody wants this in their house.
No.
By the time you add all that up, you're sitting on your ass in a chair loading Call of Duty on your PC. Fuck off. Seriously. That's I still don't get it. That's a cool thing to go into an arcade and drop a couple movies into and play in an arcade. Do I want to have one of those in my house? No. Really, no. I play games to sit on my ass and not have to run around.
Yeah.
Exactly. If I wanted to walk around or run around, I would go outside and have to cut the lawn or something like that.
And on this Nvidia topic, why don't they just concentrate on making a card that is to the standard of the Titan that doesn't cost me more than I could ever afford?
We don't have that in there. Hang on, I'll see if I can grab that really quick. The 4K gaming. Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
The 4K gaming.
Yeah.
But aren't they coming out with the 8K television now?
3840 by 2160 display.
Yeah, so 4K is definitely the step forward, but you need cards and the hardware to support it. That's a lot of.
Whoops! Damn it! That's the same thing. Don't click that link because it just take you to the place you just were at.
Don't click it. Don't click
He
it.
says that. Don't click it. It's just that's one of his bookmarks he's accidentally copied over there.
No, that's the same thing I just posted prior.
It's a lot of processing power that you need.
Yeah.
To make something beautiful and have it run.
Ultra HD.
So, you know what? Yeah, you know which one I'm more interested in here? Let's see if I can find that one. It's this one right here. The Hyperkin.
I want it.
It combines 5.
Yes.
Retron 5 combines 10 consoles into one. It'll sell for $100 this Christmas.
Now that's something that's
what
reasonable.
consoles are it combining?
NES, Famicom, Super NES, and Famicom, Sega Master System, Genesis and Mega Drive, and Game Boy Original, Color, and Advance.
So it's all Nintendo.
And Sega.
Sega! I miss those commercials.
Those are good commercials.
All right, so what is the what is going on over in the console area? We have I'm jumping around on topics so much that I'm
I see
my
that.
Place.
It's being challenging for me.
Yeah.
So
so
in terms of console news, the UK has officially most of the main techno things like Game and Currys and all. They have sold all their pre-orders. So if anyone wants to pre-order them, don't go to these places.
To pre-order what?
The Xbox One, completely out of pre-orders. If you pre-order now, you don't get it until before Christmas. Just before Christmas. Possibly,
wow.
Maybe.
Wow. Did you also see this? Don't stand it on its edge. It's probably got the same disease that the disc shatters and throws fragments at you. Yeah. So I don't know anyone that ever did stand their Xbox up like that.
I do.
Oh, then that sucks for you.
Why, I'm not getting an Xbox One. You crazy?
Oh, you wanted to play games, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
Has anyone seen a
half of my Titan? That is. What are you on about?
I don't know if anyone has seen a commercial yet that has to do with Xbox One and games. Have they?
I don't think there is one. Is there?
Probably not.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Not these days, Morphous. Games don't blow for free. They cost you $70 to blow. Ha ha.
On the other side, you have the PS4, which is coming up here.
Why are you skipping?
Where? I'm going to the next
We
one.
are all over the place, man.
Right here.
That's
Right here.
PS3.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're bringing PS3 titles
Oh.
to the PS4 using the streaming service Gaikai.
I wonder how well this is going to work out for them.
Isn't that a failed phone company?
No. It's that streaming company that got bought by Sony, streaming games.
That's a great question, Morphous. Are they going to charge you a fee to use this streaming service?
Yes, of course they are.
Oh, plus GST, because nothing free. It's Sony. They're going to charge you for everything.
It's at least
once they got
$10.
your credit card, they're just going to, oh, sorry, we had a security breach.
I wonder if they'll charge you per game or just make it sort of like a Netflix thing.
Well, you'll
get
have
the
to
entire
rebuy all
PS4
your
line.
games. Yeah, you'll have to rebuy them or something. And
Yeah, because that makes it good. I've bought this game for the PS3. You're not going to support backwards compatibility with the PS4. However, you will let me stream it via your special service from my PS3 to my PS4. And you're going to charge me for that. That is a good idea, because that way I don't have to worry about which console controller I'm going to actually play with. Stupid people, just turn on your PS3 again. Well, do that. It's got to be on in order for you to stream from one to the other. No. Yeah, I tell you.
So I'm definitely interested. I know trying.
oh, he's interested.
Well, I'm interested in seeing how it ends up playing out in the real world. On live was stuttery, so there was a lot of games that you couldn't necessarily play well. Gaikai, they only like all of them, yeah. Gaikai, when I tried it, it was only for demos, and things tended to run pretty well. But I wonder how that's going to scale once you've got everybody trying to play. So I don't know. I want to see how that plays out. That's all.
Well, Sony has also got that thing going on with the what is it? The upgrade program. Trade in.
Yeah.
And for an extra
charge you
$10, you can get the PS4 version. Then you don't have to stream it. Imagine the money you'll save.
Yeah. You can stream it. You can stream it for $2 a play.
Yeah, but that's fine, because all games are only like a couple hours long now. You don't have to play it once.
Yeah, that's why they're not putting out games for replayability. Which, you know what? I wonder how long it's going to be until that actually occurs, where it's like, okay, you stuck in Call of Duty, it's $1 for this time. Every time you die, it's another quarter, buddy.
We're bringing back
that's
the
retro.
arcade
That's retro
experience.
style.
Going old school. If it's a really good game, it's 50 cents a play.
All right, you want to talk about the horror of
Horrors?
console horror of consoles.
Horrors. The horrors, console horrors.
This is one Ham wanted to talk about last week with
Which one?
Ouya, and how they were having some sort of game initiative where they were trying to match funds. Isn't that the idea, Ham?
Yeah.
So if you had a Kickstarter game that succeeded in Kickstarter, they would match the funds you got to bring the game to Ouya. I think that's what the whole process was. However, they were concerned that some of these people that were entering into this contest were entering, giving themselves their own contribution to make the funds, and thereby getting matching funds from Ouya for the funds that they already had in their pocket and put up on Kickstarter anyways. But some of these were not that obvious, such as one company called Dungeons, the Eye of Draconus, I think it was, that put up the funds, and their father, the father of the person who was heading to Kickstarter, put up the funds saying, you know what, I want to see my son succeed, so I'm going to give him my money because I know that they'll be matching funds. Same idea, but slightly different take on it, and now they've been kicked out of the whole conference, so that it's not going to happen.
I don't think it's a charity. And see, this is part of a discussion that Foyle and I had slightly this morning. What is the difference between going on Kickstarter and representing a product and receiving money for that representation and not delivering? What is the difference between that and investment fraud? What is the difference between that and scamming a charity? It is ridiculous, this Kickstarter initiative. You are stealing money for a product that doesn't or does exist, and you have no obligation to provide any sort of a recompense for that product. Wow. If you're going to go out, it's illegal. The crowdsource funding should be, all right, approach it as if it's a investment. it's not a donation, and all this is all Kickstarter has turned into is virtual panhandling, and it is so
true.
annoying. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm on Kickstarter now." You know what? Fuck off. There's gonna be homeless people. I'm on Kickstarter now. It is absolutely ridiculous the direction that this has gone.
I'm homeless, so here's where you come in. With your help, I can find a place to live.
Yeah. Simply go to www.kickstarter.com/homelessguy.
You can
Number
help me with
644.
my dreams.
Yeah, homeless guy 644, because the first 643 were taken.
Yeah, I'll send you a sticker to put on your window, and I won't wash your window every morning as you drive by, because I'll know you already gave me money.
Speaking of which, I did promise a guy a few days ago from a chat room that I visit often that I would plug his Kickstarter. Ironically enough, he's developing a game.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. Well, I'll just say he's sort of a hopeful like myself, and he's developing a game called King Randall's Party, and it's on Kickstarter. You can look it up, see if it's something that you're interested in. I don't know. It's a 2D scrolling Minecraft-like
tower defense
Minecraft / tower defense type thing. Personally, it's not something I find appealing, but it looks good enough that somebody might. So I don't know. That's going to be in the mod plug. I think that's fair.
Okay. Well, speaking of these Kickstarters and games, Takedown.
Yes.
Takedown Red Sabre is out today on Steam.
Actually, it was out on the 20th on Steam.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, hasn't it?
Fly Day.
It was out on the day that I read the article. Okay, yes.
It's out today, which was actually yesterday or the day before.
And I saw Welshie owned it, and I didn't know anything about it, so I didn't put any money to it.
You didn't know anything about it. Where you been under a rock we've been talking about it for a year.
They're on our website.
You guys, what are you on about?
Yeah, it's something about
Usually
it.
I'm watching porn
month,
during this show.
like that.
Wasn't Breezy part of the interview? I don't know.
No,
He pays attention. But yeah, we'll probably be looking at that type of a game
Well, I haven't played it,
after the show.
so I cannot
trying
review
to
it.
say he's going to buy it for everyone.
No, I think it's pretty hard to do that. You're getting off easy because this is a cheap one. It's a very cost-effective game. It's $15. So,
Or 45 for 4, right?
yeah. And I think it's got 6-person co-op. So,
Oh.
it could be a happy to do ya game.
I'll check it out. If everyone else is checking it out, I shall check it out.
Yeah.
Peer
For some reason, when I first saw it, I thought this game was Ricochet. Was it Ricochet? And I don't know why I got the two mixed up. I think that's where the
Neither do I.
confusion came.
This one actually is, if you remember playing hardcore modes, where if you get killed, you're dead, and that was one of the big things that Christian said that Christian from Sorellen, that a lot of people will sit down and be like, "Oh, cool, it's tactical shooter," and they get killed, and then they're like, "Yeah, I'm dead. When do I
From
respawn?"
the video I watched,
No, you're dead.
yeah,
I
like
don't
the old hardcore version of Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you work as a squad, and you go in and do your tactical takedowns.
Yeah.
That's
And that was
shit.
that was the pitch from the start. It was let's reintroduce things that Rainbow Six had, because that just seems to be completely gone now for most games.
Which
And
is
so-
good, because the old Rainbow Sixes were awesome.
Exactly.
So,
we be playing.
with that said, after the show, I'm guessing we're going to be downloading this game because Breezy's going to buy the 4-pack for all of us.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna buy it now and start downloading.
You look at the look on his face. He's like, "What the fuck are you on about?"
I'm poor, yo.
Yeah.
I'll go on Kickstarter, see if they'll fund us.
There you go. What do you need Kickstarter for? Well, if we get fully funded, we can buy this game. Our work is done here.
We can surely we can get a Kickstarter for our review show.
Yeah. If you want to continue to see quality reviews like you've just seen, we're on PBS. If you're enjoying this quality programming, this can't continue without support of viewers like you. Which, by the way, isn't far off. Yeah, isn't far off from the.
In post-production, I'm going to flash the phone number right up there for you.
Yeah.
Call now.
Feel free to subscribe to MODSonair and MODSonline.com. It does help
someone might get out of bed.
If you give us a ridiculous amount, we'll give you a tote bag. Sure.
No shit. You give us
enough, we'll give you Welshie.
You know what? $200? Is that enough for Welshie? There's not much to them, so plus shipping and handling, which probably costs you $500.
There you go. Plus shipping and handling.
Put some holes in the box.
Okay.
They're in a little
2 gig
iron
download. Jeez.
grilled cheese sandwiches for the flight to wherever he's going.
One more game to talk about here, and it is called Day 1, Garry's Incident. Has nothing to do with Garry's Mod. This is going to be sort of like an FPS survival game where you can craft. It says where you can do a lot of crafting. It's not going to be multiplayer, based on what I've seen of these videos. And there might be a little bit of humor thrown in it here and there. It's a bit. It was developed on the Unreal Engine, and you can find it over at Steam. 25% discount until September 25th.
I saw something. I was kind of confused when I first saw it. I guess I'll have to look at some of the other videos. I wasn't sure if it was a crafting game or some sort of adventure game. Maybe I guess it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't see the price. I think it was like $40. I'd have to look it up again because I don't remember, and I don't have a link directly to the Steam page.
Is that a zombie?
Yeah.
There was a zombie, and then there was some animals running at you. Wild cats, and that's just some native that you get to stab in the throat.
Wow, that just looks like a Saturday night to me.
And then a zombie that came from body
Just
parts.
like on the original Source engine, or
Unreal.
oh, it's on Unreal. Wow, you look at the quality of the visuals on this, and you compare them to Extraction, which is on that Unreal Engine as well.
Which they're doing a beta sign up too.
Yes, sign up for that beta.
Oh. Extraction.
Where's the link here? I think I've got
link me. I can't be asked to type.
You are just a type.
I did link you, like 4 days ago.
When?
Maybe 5 days ago.
No.
I linked the group.
Yeah. I was linked. I said thank you.
Nobody
did say
nothing.
thank you. Trying to find it here. I got it somewhere. Holy crap! How far back did this go?
Wednesday.
I can't.
There we go.
Months.
Ba-doop-ba-doo, copy. And that goes into here for everybody to sign up.
Now the question is, is the crafting sort of, is it play into the story, or is it just we have it because we can?
Don't know.
You Nexon?
I guess he doesn't like Nexon as a publisher, right?
Right.
The game's fantastic, and it's It's self-controlled. So the publisher doesn't have the say in it.
All right. If they are a money whore, it would be interesting since they're pushing this game out for free.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting because the game is free to get, free to play, and it's fan fucking tastic.
Did you all at PAX? Did you all ask or get any information about how they're going to support the game financially? Obviously, they're going to have a store of some sort.
They didn't know.
Yeah, they said that they're going to have stuff that you'll be allowed to buy, like different costumes and things like that, but nothing that will
affect
nothing that will but it'll all be optional stuff. It's not a pay to win by any sort of means.
Okay. As long as they don't do something weird like that. I'd settle for costumes.
Mabinogi. Just because the name sounds fun.
I remember picking up Vindictus.
I don't know Morphus. I don't know if they're all free to play from Nexon.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what BCB says as well.
Oh, combat arms.
That's
fall on your head.
Where they die on your head, isn't it?
Okay.
The only time you don't die on your head is if you get headshot.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have anything else you want to bring up as we wrap?
Just that Breezy's a stick in the mud.
Aw.
Yeah, I am.
There's 4 of us for this game.
I got overexcited because I figured it was going to be a massive download, so I thought, oh, just buy it now, download it for the rest of the show, and then it turns out it's only a 2 gig download.
So he is gone, and now we're gonna, if we buy a 4-pack, we're gonna have an extra copy.
Give it to Morphus.
They did that on purpose.
Probably because Breezy's a dork.
I was gonna say, I read just yesterday that
we can give it away on the show.
Oh, that's a good idea. That Dota 2, I don't play it, but they said that's on an update coming Monday that they're gonna add LAN support for it. So I think it's a pretty big deal. Yep.
I would have thought we'd have it anyway because of the competitive scene around it.
You'd think so, but LAN support seems to be something that's not focused on so much nowadays. But yeah, it's coming, so I think it's probably a pretty big deal.
Who are you addressing? Sorry with the comment there. Never mind. Talk about this later. How do you want it?
Okay. I guess we'll wrap up. I guess that's the end of the show, right?
I think so. I think we got everything. What happened to all the topics? They're all like weird now.
They're all fixed.
All the X's are gone.
Yes, they're all set to go posting on the website for.
I'm going to change orders.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they're not in any kind of order, anyways.
You cleaned up the order, anyways. You don't even. You don't even order them properly for people, do you?
Not anymore, no.
Oh, you used to care, man. What happened to you?
Well, I want to thank I want to thank some of the hosts for taking the time out to chat today. Reese, thank you very much for joining us today.
No problem.
Ham, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And Strider, thank you for joining us today.
It's always an adventure, guys.
Yeah, and I guess I'll do that an interesting little closer to go with the end of the show. After this, though, finally, I want to thank you, the fans of MODSonair.com and the subscribing members of MODSOnline.com, because it is you who make the show possible. And we'll be back next week after playing some games. You should do the same. See ya. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com. And please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. Well, speaking of needing a parent, this is what happens when you don't keep an eye on your kids. They end up watching things like this.
Well, you don't want to read all afternoon, do you, Bert?
Yeah.
But I know reading is good for you. Reading is great, and reading is a lot of fun and all that sort of shit. But, Bert, you need your exercise, too, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll exercise later. I want to read right now, though.
Okay, Bert. But, incidentally, Bert, you're shit. Bert, shit. Bert, shit.
What?
Unnecessary censorship
You're
at its finest.
What do you mean I'm shit?
See, that's the game. I just you, and you're shit until you somebody else.
No, I'm not playing a game. I'm reading, Ernie, and I'm not shit.
Okay. But Bert is shit.
Ernie, I'm not shit.
Yes, you are, Bert. You're shit, Bert.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, Bert. Bert shit. Bert is shit.
I'm gonna get you watch out, I'm not you're not.
Wasn't that great to get all that exercise?
Terrific, yeah.
Aren't you glad you played that game?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because you're shit again, Bert. Bert shit.
That's who's the there's a comedian that does that unnecessary censorship, and it is
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel, and it is funny. That was pretty good too.